Hello and welcome. I'm a man called Jay. Abanyoro n'abanyoro kati nitubatangira muno kurora program yaitu enu eya VOB Rundi Voice of Bunyoro. And for those of you who do not understand Lunyoro, I just welcome you all. This program is called Voice of Bunyoro from the Diaspora. The program highlights the challenges and the progress of the Bunyoro people from Western Uganda. We have done this before. This is just a continuation. During the pandemic time, we really did a lot. We from all the way from 2022 to 2023, we had programs every Sunday. Now we are back. We have been off air for quite some time. We have been figuring things out. So now, yes, we are on. Last week, we had a program. We had Sam Kitone Araali Mulindwa, who is an entrepreneur from the region, Bunyoro Kitara. And then we had a direct descendant of Kabalega, Joshua Rwagasore of All Financial. We have got a young man by the name of Isaac Ntegeka. He's a wizard. He's a technologist. He creates things. You see, he has created the Chunguza platform. This Chunguza platform, you are going to hear him talk about it. On that note, I do not want to waste much of your time. So let me hand you over to my guests, Sam Kitone Araali Mulindwa and Isaac Ntegeka. So, guys, it is now a good time to introduce yourself. Let me start with you, Isaac Ntegeka, because mind you, this is the youngest entrepreneur from Bunyoro. Isaac, tell us.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. J. It's a pleasure to see you, Mr. Samuel, as well. I'm very humbled and very delighted to be here. My name is Isaac. I am the founder of Chunguza Travel. I am a software engineer. I studied at Makerere University and currently I'm a student at the University of East London. What's special about me, which I don't think is really special, is the fact that my company, Chunguza Travel, is the first locally owned travel website in not just Uganda but East Africa, and it's something that's built using Ugandan skills. It's the first place where someone can purchase a flight with mobile money, which I think is a very big innovation, and it shows how much Africa has come to develop our own payment systems, because things like mobile money started in 2010, and they are now technologies that are African built, and they are serving almost 250 million people. So yeah, it just shows that we have a lot of potential in Uganda and East Africa, and we have programs like this. I'm here because I know the intention is to bring out this potential from our people. Yeah, thank you so much.
Good, good, good. Now let us go to Samuel. Samuel Kitone Araali.
Yes, thank you, Mr. JJ, Mr. Joseph Bamwenda Atenyi, Wakitinisa. Thank you for inviting me again on your program, the Voice of Neuro Business section. Mr. Ntegeka Atwoki, good to see you on the program. And yeah, thank you. That is very good. The aim of this program to be able to voice out entrepreneurship within our region. My name's Sammuel Kitone Araali. I come from two regions, Abufunjo, Kenjojo, and Kagadi, Muhororo. So I'm a mixture. Um, yeah, what I do, I'm passionate about working with people and for them bringing out what they think they do not have. Because in business or whatever you do, you've got the passion, you've got the interest, and a lot of people who do business, they like challenges, solving complex problems, building relationships, and in the process you end up creating value to both customers and stakeholders. So me, that's where I rotate in doing all my projects I'm doing, all the businesses I'm doing, whether here in the UK or uh, other parts of the world. So my main area, I'm a security specialist. That is my main area of business. And then on that, I spread more into other areas of interest. I'm glad to be here, and hopefully we'll have a good program discussion, and hopefully the viewers can pick up one or two things which they can apply in their new project, startup, venture, or any other initiative that they are looking ahead to do. Thank you, JJ.
Okay, so Isaac, tell our viewers what was the most important motivation or the main driver. What made you start Chunguza Travel uh, platform?
Well, that's the answer could be a short answer or a long answer. So I started Chunguza Travel because it was actually I had there are very many reasons, but for me, the reason I say Chunguza Travel is because it was an asset light business. I use my skills to connect to suppliers of different hotels, car rentals, and flight companies, and someone can book almost 2 million things on my website, and I don't have to have a warehouse or something or a shop. I use few resources to run the business. That was my main motivation. But for this particular business, but where I got into business, it all starts with the upbringing. Growing up in Masindi, there were back in the early 2000s. Most of the businesses, most of the people that we aspired to, there were a lot of Indians in the area, and they were all into business. I think that's what made me get interested in business. I have started over 30 businesses in the last 6 years, since 2018. And of those, I've started around 10 of them software technology based businesses like Chunguza Travel. Not everyone has the skills that I have. There's a lot of people that have business ideas, but they don't have the capital or the skills to build the idea that they have. And in starting a business, you have to work with what you have. So I think it's really about working with what you have. So I started Chunguza Travel because it's what I had, the best thing I could do with my skills and resources at the time. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
I know we are going to discuss more about that. Thank you very much for that information. But what I want to ask you, you are a tech guy, right? Because you are saying Chunguza Travel Platform is a technology platform. Say, for example, you might have some young people, not even young people only, but also people out there who wants to start businesses like these ones. What technical skills does one need to be able to start a business like this one?
well, the technical skills. It's going to be computer programming. Where the world is going, in the last few years, artificial intelligence has really taken over the world. But even before that, before AI came up, I think the skills that we need now, computer skills, digital skills are very important for young people. And this, computers, technology, what it does is it multiplies the effort that what one person is able to do. Technology multiplies that by 100 or 1,000 so that few people can do much more. So in terms of, creating value, creating wealth, technical skills are really important. And what's interesting is I learned how to program without going to a university, because I started off this, I was studying civil engineering, which is not related to which is not related to software development. And I used to teach myself, how to build things on the side. And once you see all the, not just me, but all the successful entrepreneurs that are building huge businesses, software companies, tech companies. In the UK, I was reading a report today that most of the funding that's coming into the UK for business is coming for tech companies. And most of these people, the skills that they're learning, they're actually self-taught skills, because something like AI, it came 2 years back. There's not enough time to put it in the syllabus, but it has to be used to create value, to further business. So if people are to wait for it to get added to the education system, it will be too late and it may be irrelevant.
Okay.
So I think young
All right.
people, we have to be early adapters and be
Fantastic.
innovative. Yeah.
We will come because you have said very, very, very interesting things. You learned how to program computers, but the time you did this, you were at Makerere University, right? Uh-huh. So we have got techie guys, university graduates. Now let me move on to Sam. Sam, I have known you quite some time. A friend of mine introduced you, and since then we have done a whole lot of things. But when I met you, you were organizing events. You were bringing Ugandans together. I think when I met you, you were organizing the Uganda independence. And then all of a sudden, I hear you have got a security system going. Now, Sam, this is the question that I'm asking everybody. How do you start a business here in the UK? Because our mindset sometimes is stopping us. Some people, they think that it is not easy to start a business in the UK. Some people think that those businesses are just meant for Europeans only. How did you start your security business 24/7?
Um, yeah, thank you, JJ, for that question. First of all, I like your shirt. Looks very sharp. Um, with regards to that question there, just to give it a foundation, the young man here, Mr. Uh, Isaac Ntegeka, he said in the past 6 years, he has established about like 30 companies. So to me, I'm not looking at the 30 companies. I'm looking at the why. Why would you open up 6 companies or 6 startups in 6 years? So I'm looking at the why. I'm not looking at the number of companies. And that I'm putting a foundation in order to answer your question. There is passion in what he's doing, and there is interest. So anyone thinking of starting up a business, a project, without those fundamental elements, which are you have to have the passion to do it, and you must have the interest. So those are the foundation of what I did, or what I did began with my company. Whether it is Richard Branson, whether it is Robert Kiyosaki, whether it is Bill Gates, a passion. So it's the passion that I had for the sector that I'm in, surrounded or empowered by the interest that led me, because I've done quite a lot, like what Mr. Ntegeka said, 30 companies in 6 years. So my business has been around since 2005. So you can imagine how many projects, how many businesses that I've been doing. So it is passion and interest. That's how I did it. And that's why anyone thinking of beginning a business, that those are the fundamentals that they need to look at. They shouldn't look at money. They shouldn't look at profits. They shouldn't look at or someone else is doing it. Let me doing it. Let me do it. So it is, yeah, passion and interest. That's how um, I began or set up my business.
That's very good to hear. That's very good to hear. Now,
Yes.
you see, as we are going, let us try to be interactive here, because these ideas, I just want to hear a ping ponging. Say, for example, uh, the question that I'm going to ask, there are so many challenges when you are starting a business. Some of them can be financial, some of them can be the setup itself. But anyway, that all that is actually tied to financial backing. Say, for example, Isaac, you see your platform, which we will actually bring on the screen at some point. Don't worry about sharing it now. I'm going to create a special plate so that you can actually show it properly. Now, Isaac, when you are a tech guy, it is very easy these days to do things technology wise. See, like where we are here, you might think that we are in a big studio, we are switching, we have got to, yes, but also it requires knowledge. Now, how did you start? Did you have any financial backup? How did you start? How did you go about developing this? Because you see, first of all, developing a website itself requires a lot of money. You see, but many people do not understand that. They think that we will just make a website and everything goes. So, Isaac, tell us, how did you manage to do what you have done? Maybe without a lot of money, or did you have any backup whatsoever?
Well, yeah, money is important for business, and a lot of businesses don't grow because of money. In the past, money has been something that has constrained me. So I've learned a lot of lessons. There are so many good ideas, but those ideas are going to need money to grow, to start, to sustain, to grow, to learn from them, and to improve them. And yeah, so what you're talking about is really important. For this particular Chunguza travel platform, I had a lot of experience from previous businesses, and I really had to find a way to make it work with very few resources. So to build a platform, I used my skills. So that was not real money. It was my skills as no employee to be paid, as it was me doing most of the heavy work. And where I would get stuck, I would pay someone that had the skills just very little money. And I knew that I'm stuck here and I would look for a specialist in that particular place. For instance, when I was trying to integrate the mobile money payments, I spent, that was the only financial expense that I had. I spent around £400 to ask a specialist to look into what I'd done, to see if it's okay, and propose payments will not get into problems. Uh, Money is, I think I've recently got money from someone that I've met through these circles of Voice of Bunyoro and this whole program. And that's going to help me to market and get the brand known by people. But so my whole point is to build a business and to start it, people have to be innovative. People have to find out how to grow something without money. And then money should only come in to push something that is validated. When you have an idea, there are so many ideas, but those ideas are not validated. You don't know if it will work. So it's better to get the idea built without getting money from outsiders, put that product onto the market, try to get feedback from people. And when you're sure that this is something that is solid, this is something that you've done a lot of research, you have good market research, you have good numbers, that's when you bring in external money to help you push something that is validated already. So yeah, in terms of money, my whole key takeaway is someone should learn to work within their means until the idea that they have is validated.
So
Because this
now,
advice is for, yeah.
okay, sorry, you know, we will talk. You don't have to preempt your speech yet, because we are touching bits and pieces here and there. So one time, in another program, we will bring you. You tell us exactly how you started programming. You see, now you're just giving people information. Let people know. What we want people to know is that here in Europe, in the UK, we are in the capital of the world, and the Bunyoro, they're everywhere in the world where you go. The only thing is that we do not shout from our rooftop, but now it is a good idea. It is a good thing that we are we are seeing young people who are technologically savvy, and they are pushing things. One question I want to ask you: uh, you touched something on marketing. So how are you marketing your platform? Just quickly, if you can.
Uh, well, right now I've not yet found a winning formula. I'm just still experimenting really. So I don't really have a concrete answer as I'm still, doing the research on how best to do it.
So now, Chunguza platform, when do you think it will be able to be fully in operation? It is functioning. You know, there is functioning and there is operational. So it is functioning in terms of, say, for example, someone can go in and look at Chunguza and see what it does. So, but have you put all the pillars in? Say, for example, if I wanted to buy a ticket to fly to Kabalega International Airport, because Bunyoro is this area that is really going to explode. Now, instead of us flying to Entebbe, we will be flying to Kabalega International. So, if I wanted to buy a ticket or book a hotel, have you put those pillars already in? Is it functional? No,
Yeah,
operation. Yeah.
yes, from the very beginning, you can go on right now and search and book a flight and you'll have it
Fantastic.
You'll have
So
that
that
ticket in
is
your email
exactly what you
immediately.
need to tell people, that from today, don't struggle, don't go to Qatar Airways, don't go anywhere. We have it here. But of course, but then another question that will come later. Sam, let me go to Sam here. Sam, when you are running your businesses, I just want to this question here, I'm discussing it with a lot of people, and it looks like within the African and African Caribbean people, we haven't really grasped the idea that we are in a world of possibilities. Everyone wants to, they are so much comfortable in their own ways. They get a job, they make a little bit of money, send money home to take care of their families, which is totally plausible 100%. But we don't have this idea of wealth creation. Why do you think that is?
Well, thank you, JJ, and thank you, Mr. Ntegeka, for your insight on your business and how you established your business. Um, I think there is no one word or one statement to answer that. But like what I said, whatever you do, there must be passion and interest. So a lot of people, business people, entrepreneurship, they enjoy taking on challenges and solving complex um, issues or problems, and in the process, they become who they are or what they do. So a lot of people play it safe, and if you play it safe, like what Mr. Ntegeka said, he said his Chunguza business, he brought on a lot of experience from previous businesses or previous practices or business that he has attempted. Whereas, um, where your question goes, that people lack that they want money, they want to better themselves, they want all that, but that comes at a cost. And that cost is you crafting ways of solving problems and challenges and being creative. So if you're not be able to do that, you're not going to be able to attain experience. They say that experience is the best teacher. So how can you get the best education without the experience? So with your production, your business, there's always new gadgets that come up. Now technology keeps on coming up. So if you're not into that industry, if you are not there, or if you step aside and say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. So if new gadgets comes up, like black magic integrated into all different cameras and so forth. So by you are there, you're consistent, and one experience leads you to another to become who you are, to become successful. So sadly, a lot of our people, they are scared or they fear challenges, they fear complex problems. They rather step away and don't look a way of navigating themselves through in solving that problem, because at the end of it, then you become an expert into that problem, whether it is technology, whether it is the things that Mr. Ntegeka said. He taught himself the coding, the programming. Now he's an expert to that, because he solved that problem. He could not do it in the first place. So a lot of people, they choose not to take up the challenge and their results are what you see. Those ones that have stood up to the challenge and have solved the problem, they've ended up. And then in the end, that one you can't even do that, because I believe Chunguza, Mr. Isaac, after having the passion, the interest, and being able to solve those problems, again, even that is not good enough. More is required. Then you need to build relationship with people. Like he mentioned that where he was completely stuck, he could go and pay for people to come and work and solve that problem. And in the process, that helped him. So he must have built that relationship with that particular individual or expert or consultant who comes in and solve his problem, and then he goes to the next step. So comfort zone, which is a common word, people use it, but people don't want to stand up to challenges. And you see what you see now in our communities, in business world, in our regions, in country, and the globe at large.
Okay. See, I have to pose this question again, but let me put it in a different way. You see, there are people doing things in every society. You'll find the Nigerians, they are so vocal. The Ghanaians are doing their own things, and some other societies, they are doing things at a level that is really helping their society. Now, like say for us, for example, here, we we have got people in technology. We have got our own online TV platforms. What do we really need to do to make sure that we are there? Do we, what I mean, we are there in the world? Say, now this one is going to lead us to the event that took place that was launched on the 30th of March. We are going to talk about that later on. Now, I want to know, we as people from that region, in that society, we have got everybody. You have got lawyers. I believe in Bunyoro society, there are lawyers, there are accountants, there are people who, there are even army people. They're everywhere. We are there. So, what is really hindering us, again, we as the Bunyoro people, to come together and say, well, look, we are from Bunyoro, we want also to be counted? What do you think, Isaac? You are a young man. Probably you haven't really encountered so many challenges in terms of community cohesion. What do you really think? Now, anyone can answer this one in your own way. What can we do? We have got all the people, and we can actually do things. Probably even seriously, we can. Judging to what we can do with the limited resources, I think there is something that I'm trying to hint about here. What can we actually do to bring these people together? Anyone can answer that.
Mr. Samuel should. Okay, let me answer first, and Mr. Samuel will give a longer answer. It's Before I go to the answer, you've talked about how the Nigerians and the Ghanaians seem to be doing so much. Uh, you people left Uganda a long time ago, so I don't know if you will relate to this example. But whenever someone in Uganda goes to withdraw money from an ATM, they there's a company called InterSwitch that allows someone to use the ATM at another bank. InterSwitch is a Nigerian company. They get a small cut from all ATM transactions in Uganda. It was built by Nigerians, and it's literally used in the whole of East Africa. Mobile money was started in Kenya, and Uganda was one of the very first adapters. All online payments for mobile money are handled by most of them in Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. They're handled by Flutterwave. It's a Nigerian company. And what that shows is the Nigerians, they have learned to, again, as you said, work together to bring their skills to solve their problems. But more than that, they seem to have a culture that allows them to expand. They start something in Nigeria, they grow it, it goes to the rest of Africa. And they're really controlling the system there. In Uganda, I really don't know the answer. I'm just really posing questions for Mr. Samuel to answer after. It always seems to me that we do things on our own and we really have not learned that culture. And it's something that I'm still trying to figure out because what those examples I've told you, Flutterwave, the mobile money payment processor, the InterSwitch thing, and there are so many other examples. I know so many Ugandans that have those skills. I know so many Ugandan companies that have tried to solve those problems, but they just never go off the ground. Once a Ugandan young man starts something and they go knock on offices, they're not going to accept them. This year, the National Lottery is starting in Uganda, and a company from South Africa was brought in to administer the National Lottery. A system for the National Lottery is the most simple computer system to build. To choose random numbers and award the winner and whatnot. It's very simple. You don't need an external company to do that. But all Ugandan companies were refused and the South African company was brought in. So I think it's more of we are cutting off the arm that feeds ourselves and then we're asking ourselves why we are not able to eat. So yeah, I'm still asking myself questions and I hope Mr. Samuel can help to give me some answers.
Well, that's a big challenge, but I like challenges. So yeah, I mentioned on building relationships. Thank you, Mr. Ntegeka, with your wide experience in this and an understanding to be able to analyze it and backing it up with that information. I talked about building relationships. So in business, to succeed, relationships have to be built because people are comfortable with working with South Africans, with Nigerians, because we have failed to build working or business relationship amongst us as regions, as Ubuntu, as Ugandans, as Africans. We've failed. We failed that, and that is as a result of things not happening. Then the other one is those South African and the Nigerian, when they begin business, their why is big. Why they are doing it is big. Is far more beyond their little regions, the Igbo, those regions they have, or those tribes. It's beyond to that. So once they start a business, their why is big. Is big as to why that business they want it to succeed, and their why being very big, that's why they expand and go to regions and succeed. Whereas to us, from my experience, our why is very small, because if our why was very big, we would see a lot of success and a lot of things happening. But because our why is small, little things, small things derail us from our why being big, or the bigger fish. We don't. We will fall out because I'm not from the same region, or we don't speak the same language, or I don't like you, or you said something bad about me. Those people, once they are doing business, they take emotions out of equation, and they do their main prime business or their main prime activity, or engaging themselves in whatever they are doing. It is doing business and succeeding. That's all, nothing else. Your color, your ethnic background, your tribe does not interest them at all. They are there to do purely business. So that's the only answer I can give. That how we do things, we as a region, as you said, you have a lot of professors, you have teachers, you have accountants, you have a lot of wealth of people who are educated, who have got a lot of potential. But with those without those elements, being that their way of doing that thing is important, like what people say, when you look, I'll give an example of our region, um, Bunyoro itself. You find that there's people who are pro-monarchy, they don't want the kingdom, and there's some other people, they think another, there's so many. So that is just that. Then you go political. I don't want to be, uh, political, and I don't want to sound politically correct, but the fact is that these things here, which were brought long time ago, they stayed into us, that I'm not going to um, speak to the other person because he's supporting the other person who is supposed to be the king or the president or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, this world here, or kingdom or country, is bigger than us. If we don't play our part now, other people will come, they'll play the part. We will leave and go and leave it here. So if we, our communities, we just need our region. We just need, if we start a project or a business, like when I see the hotels, the businesses in Bunyoro, the hotels, all those hotels, there's Contique, Buffalo, all of them. For them, their interest was to bring a hotel in the region, whether it's Eco Resort or whatever. They came in, and their only prime aim was to produce a good accommodation hotel in the region. That's all. And they succeeded, and they're still succeeding. So until us people, our region, we say, you know what, tomorrow we are going to do something. Let us take the emotions out and make sure our why is big than us, the individuals, and we'll see a lot of results. Thank
Okay,
you.
so now I just want to talk about this. While I'm talking, I just want to bring this up. Let me see if I can bring this up. Okay, so now this is basically what we are talking about here. On the 30th of March this year, Bunyoro Kitara Trade and Investment was launched specifically to explore Uganda and to bring investments in Bunyoro. So that's what Sam is talking about. Now we are what we are really looking at. We are really looking at anyone else who wants to come and invest in Bunyoro. You do not have to be a Bunyoro. You can be a person from, you see, like these guys here, they're from Brazil. They want to come and invest in Uganda. In Uganda, and particularly in Bunyoro, because they know the opportunities that exists. So in so doing, if we keep sleeping, someone will come. No, they have already started. We have seen Europeans going and starting shambas. They go plant matoke and sell matoke to the Banyoro themselves. So anyway, let me go back to how. Okay, now we have got the mayor who is really determined on bringing the city of Bunyoro, Hoima Oil City, and now we are looking at the prime minister, Honorable Yakutaga. He's also talking about so many things. But now, let me go back here. So you see, when this idea of big Bunyoro Kitara trade and investment came up, So many people are hesitating. They're actually thinking, well, yeah, well, these guys maybe they just there are those people who sit on the side. They want to see you either progress or they want to see you fail in some way or another. But I'm not really concerned about that. We spoke about so many things on that show. So Sam, you are the spearhead on this. I am also behind you pushing things. As I say, my knowledge is in technology, whether it is creating a TV presentation, whether it is doing live presentation, that one I can do with my eyes well almost closed. I understand that. You see, I keep telling people that not one person can do everything. You need somebody to finance it. You need somebody to promote it. You need somebody. You see, like when we were looking for somebody to design a website, I did not know that Ntegeka could do all these things. But now we are aware, because everything that we really need to do, whether in business or whatever kind of business, we need designers, we need videographers, we need, and again, financiers, and then we need managers. So all those things, it is kind of, we are losing out, because we, as you have said, that some people, they have got this idea, I don't like you, or I don't like so and so, but without realizing that when you build a community, you take away the emotions of friendship. Friendship and business does not tally, never. All those people who have managed to do business at the highest level, they will tell you one thing: your friendship will start after office hours. We can meet in the pub and discuss something else. But when it is business, it is business. Now imagine we have got a programmer. There could be another one. We have got an entrepreneur, and you have got somebody who is versed in technology. Believe me, guys, I have sacrificed a lot. You see, this is my job. I do every day. I get up early morning. When I fail to do something, I practice and practice and practice. I want to see things the way I see them on TV. But when someone, and I must say, I am married to somebody who is very patient, because the freedom that I was given, she doesn't hassle me, uh, and she knows, maybe she knows where I want to be. You know, this morning I was talking to someone, and I just thought, okay, I can do integrated systems. I can do all that. We have all those things. So with this Bunyoro Kitara Trade and Investment, Sam, you have traveled to Uganda, you have met all these people. What are the prospects and what are the challenges that you encountered in explaining what Bunyoro Kitara Trade and Investment is all about? Please give us a little bit of that story.
Um, Thank you, JJ. Yeah, this is like any other project that has got goals and objectives which are very clear, is to explore, build our region and Uganda at large, promote trade and investment. But that, you meet a challenge of people who have, they see business, they think business can be done, like what Mr. Ntegeka said, but it is more to that. And then you've got people who are calling us to come and invest back home, Again, they have their own goals. But the two parties, they need to understand. So 20 Ugandans here in the diaspora, it's very hard for them to put resources together, like a crowdfunding, for them to go and invest in Uganda. It's impossible. Kenyans are doing it, Nigerians are doing it, Ghanaians are doing it, Nigerians are doing it, because they are far way more ahead. So to us, me, it was very simple. I have a lot of mentors from all different areas, and they give me simple guidelines. Bring your people together, talk about investment, get a pool of funds together, then create value, create a voice. Then those people, where in Uganda you want to invest or any other region, then you go and invest. So the challenge is that it's the mindset of people. Before we even talk about investment, you have to spend a lot of time and energy explaining yourself or changing their mindset, which is almost impossible. Whereas the video you showed, Brazilians, for them, they are not interested. They've already mobilized themselves. They have a pool of funds, a few £1,000,000, and for them, they need like 20 square miles. They just want to come and do agriculture. So they will come in Bunyoro, they will take those 10 square miles, and they are going to employ you. They're going to do that business. They can put those funds together. So the challenge is, first of all, you engage people, call them, try to build relationships. Each relationship you build, it gets broken before it even gets started. So how are you going to reach a point of building an investment capital to go and invest a few million? So that's the challenge, bringing people together, people of the same mindset, because all the people you've mentioned, all the people in our region, we are not on the same mindset. Everyone has got their own mindset. There's only a few ones, and even those few ones, they either have got trust issues or there's elements there, and those elements, those are the ones the challenges are meeting. Whereas you meet a Brazilian, he meets you, he's not interested in what you're doing, or Portuguese or English. For them, they're not interested. They want to go and plant their matoke. They will sell the matoke to the locals, and then later on they will build the market and then export them. Same with the Indians. So Indians are growing matoke in India, and they're here in the supermarkets here, and they are labeled as Ugandans, and people are buying them. So whereas they've managed, the only strength there they have is that they've managed to put resources together or build resources together, or even they've built relationship with other people who has availed them those finance to execute the project. Whereas to us, the diaspora here, the Ugandans, we can't. There's a few individuals who will go and do their little projects, and that's where it ends.
Okay, right. You see, we will come back next week. Next week we are going to look at what kind of people are investing in Bunyoro. We will endeavor to bring those people here on the program so that people can learn. We have been talking almost for an hour. You see, this business program, we can talk for 3 hours at one go, but we don't really want to bore people. We want to give people an opportunity so that you come and give these. It's like sound bites. If people wants to take it, they take it. But before I finish, Sam Kitone commented on my shirt. Let me see if I can bring it on here. Let me see. Is it number 9 or 10? Let me see. Yes, here we are. You see, we are commemorating 100 years of Kabalega. You see, we have been following the idea what Kabalega left us, his Kabalega's legacy. So what we have done here, we have come up with ideas of creating garments. You see, as you can see here, you are just only seeing shirts, but I can guarantee you, we have got other commodities that are being planned. Even small things like phone covers, even shoes. You will see them in these fabrics. We've got the king's head there. I think you can see on the far right, and on the far left. And then you have got the king's throne. That shirt you see in the middle, that is the real throne from the palace. So we are not picking up things. No, the other one is Kabalega, and this one I'm wearing is actually a paraphernalia of the things that you find in the palace: shields, drums, everything combined together. And one can order this. You don't have to buy a shirt, but you can buy raw material in meters. If you want to have these kind of garments so that you are a proud grandchild or granddaughter, son of Kabalega, get in touch with us. We will put the contacts below. Enough of that. Let me go back here. So, guys, thank you very much for uh, for coming on the program again, and I will see you next week because we we are reviving Voice of Bunyoro in a big way. Yesterday, I was talking to a young guy who is doing amazing things. This young guy is called Sean Clinton. I met him when actually we met online. Then I met him in person in Hoima. I sent you the program last night. I think you must have seen it. Believe me, this guy, he is switched on. His phone is always on 24 hours. And you call him, he does not hesitate. So things are getting together. Things are getting together. We have been off air for some time, but now we are back in a big way with more interesting things. So our programs are going to be, we also promote music. And by the way, we have got a few ladies who will be presenting their own programs. So we are going to, I'm going to put them into the routines of proper presenting and stuff like that. So, guys, thank you very much. Now, if you have got one word, no, one 15 seconds each one, just to tell the people, we call people, let us see where do we go from here. Sam.
Me, I'm just one word is that word or two is people need to come together. People need to, whether region or I've been privileged to be in Uganda, and if you travel around places, Rwanda, Uganda, Barara, looking at places in the world, in our region itself. When you drive through, you see farms, you see plantations in all those areas, Toro, Fort Poto, and the rest. To me, my own call is that we either do it now or we don't. Because when you look like in Bunyoro, you see a lot of people are flooding in there. They are building, they are buying land, and the Banyoros or people, they are ready to sell because they need money. Whereas if we are the one in the diaspora or have got those investment pool capital, we can acquire these properties, we can acquire this land and develop it and employ our people in favorable conditions other than other people. I'm not stopping foreigners, and I'm not being uh, um, stopping people to come to invest in our region. Tourists, they can come, but I'm saying that when that happens, when tall buildings are being built in Bunyoro and supermarkets and shopping center owned by Portuguese and Brazilians and the rest, let us not complain. Let us not go on the street and start rioting that these people are taking our jobs, our children don't have jobs. So I think it's high time we smell the coffee and and join hands together and build our region and build the country at large. Thank you so much.
Okay, Isaac,
Yeah, thank you.
1 minute.
Thank you so much. There's really nothing much to add on apart from saying thank you to you, Mr. J, and Mr. Samuel, for this platform, Bunyoro Kitone Investment, and this show, and for the spirit of encouraging us to join hands to work together. Yeah, just thank you so much. That's my conclusive statement.
Well, okay, so that's
Thank
it.
you.
We will see you next week.